Welcome to the Learning Speaking English channel. If you're someone who truly wants to improve your English speaking skills and become more confident, then you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to share with you a powerful story and some life-changing tips on how to be consistent in learning English. So stay with me till the end, because this could be the turning point in your English learning journey. Let me tell you a story. Not a story about a superhero, but about an ordinary person who had one extraordinary dream: to speak English confidently and fluently. Her name was Riya. She was a 23-year-old woman living in a small town. She had grown up in a place where English was not commonly spoken. In her school, the language was taught as a subject, but not lived as a skill. She memorized grammar rules. She scored well in written exams. But when the moment came to speak, her mind would suddenly turn blank. She could understand what others said, but forming her own sentences felt like climbing a steep mountain. One day, Riya attended an interview for a job she really wanted. She had prepared everything: the answers, her certificates, even her outfit. But when the interviewer switched to English, she froze. Her hands started trembling, her voice cracked, and she ended up saying just a few broken sentences. She didn't get the job. On her way back home, sitting in the bus, she felt an ache in her heart. Not because she wasn't intelligent, but because she had allowed inconsistency to become her biggest enemy. Riya, like many learners, had studied English on and off. A few days of intense practice, then weeks of silence. She joined classes but left halfway. She bought grammar books but stopped reading after the first few chapters. She watched English videos but never practiced speaking. She started with energy but never stayed with it long enough. And that is the story of so many people. But something changed that evening. As she looked out of the bus window, she made herself a promise. She said, "This time I will not stop midway. I will become consistent, no matter how slow the progress is." And that promise started her real journey of learning English. The next morning, Riya didn't enroll in a fancy coaching class. She didn't buy expensive material. She simply took a notebook, wrote the date, and made a small plan: just 15 minutes every day. She decided that every day, without fail, she would engage with English in some way: listening, speaking, reading, or writing. The first few days were exciting. She listened to short English podcasts, repeated sentences out loud, and tried to think in English for a few minutes each day. But after a week, like always, life started throwing distractions. Her friend invited her to a wedding. Her relatives came to visit. Her phone buzzed with notifications. Slowly, she felt that familiar laziness creeping in. And this is the first truth about consistency. It is not about motivation. It is about systems. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright but dies quickly. Systems are like the engine. They keep running even when the spark fades. Riya realized this, so she built small systems around her. She placed sticky notes with English phrases around her mirror. She changed her phone's language to English. She created a playlist of 5-minute English videos to listen to while commuting. She joined an online speaking group where learners practiced daily for 10 minutes. These small systems didn't require big effort, but they kept her connected to English daily. Weeks passed. At first, her progress was invisible. She felt like nothing was changing. And this is the second truth about consistency. In the beginning, progress hides beneath the surface. Just like planting a seed, you water it every day, but for a long time you see nothing. That doesn't mean nothing is happening. The roots are growing. Riya's roots were growing. Slowly, she began to form sentences more naturally. Her hesitation reduced. She made mistakes, of course, but now, instead of feeling embarrassed, she took them as signs of growth. Every mistake became a brick in the foundation of her fluency. After 2 months, something interesting happened. She met her cousin after a long time. In the middle of their conversation, Riya replied to a question in English without thinking. Her cousin smiled and said, "Hey, your English sounds so natural now." That one comment filled her with quiet confidence. It wasn't a grand moment. There was no stage, no applause. But it was a real moment of transformation. So what exactly helped Riya stay consistent? Let's break it down into 5 powerful principles. all wrapped inside her story. First, she started small but daily. She didn't try to study for 3 hours on one day and then disappear for a week. She knew that even 10 minutes every day was better than 2 hours once a week. Consistency loves small steps, not giant leaps. Second, she built routines, not random habits. Every morning, after brushing her teeth, she listened to a short English audio. Every night, before sleeping, she wrote 3 sentences in her diary. She tied her English practice to daily activities, making it automatic. Third, she created an environment that supported her goal. She surrounded herself with English, not just through textbooks, but through real-life exposure. Her phone, her sticky notes, her playlists, her group, all became silent teachers. Fourth, she embraced imperfection. She didn't wait to speak perfect English to start speaking. She spoke with mistakes, learned, and improved. She knew that fluency grows from practice, not perfection. And fifth, she tracked her progress. Every week, she would record a short audio of herself speaking. At first, it was shaky and slow. But month after month, she could hear the difference. Tracking gave her proof that her efforts were working, even when she doubted herself. Riya's story is not a fairy tale. She didn't become fluent overnight. There were days she felt tired, days she made excuses, days she wanted to give up. But every time, she reminded herself of the promise she made in that bus. She didn't allow her emotions to decide her actions. She let her discipline do that. 6 months later, Riya faced another interview. This time, when the interviewer switched to English, her heart still beat fast, but her words didn't freeze. She spoke calmly, made a few mistakes but carried on confidently. She got the job. But more importantly, she got something greater. She proved to herself that consistency can turn a shy learner into a confident speaker. Now, let's step out of Riya's story and talk about you. If you want to be consistent in learning English, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to wait for the right time. You need to do 3 simple things. Number 1, commit to small, daily actions. Could be listening to a short podcast, reading 1 paragraph, recording your voice, or writing a few sentences. The key is daily touch. Number 2, make English part of your lifestyle. Don't treat it like a subject that lives in your notebook. Make it live in your surroundings, your phone, your mirror, your playlists, your thoughts. Number 3, be patient and kind to yourself. Fluency is not a race. It's a journey. And journeys have ups and downs. What matters is that you keep walking, even when the road seems quiet. When people say, "I want to learn English," what they often mean is, "I want to feel confident when I speak." Confidence doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from hundreds of small, invisible moments when you choose to show up. Every day you practice, even a little, you are building a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Before we end, let me leave you with a simple image. Imagine a jar. Every day you drop 1 small stone into that jar. Maybe it's a new word, a short audio, a 2-minute conversation. At first, the jar looks empty. But day after day, stone after stone, it begins to fill. One day you look at it and realize it's full. That jar is your fluency. That jar is built by consistency. So, the next time you feel lazy or you think, "What difference will 5 minutes make?" Remember Riya on that bus. Remember the promise she made. And make that promise to yourself. Not to be perfect, but to be consistent. Because in the end, consistency is not just about learning English. It's about proving to yourself that you can become who you decide to be. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot and helps us reach more learners like you. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear about your English learning journey. And remember, the more you share this video, the more people we can help together. See you in the next video.